What's up, everybody? Okay, the Pittsburgh Pro. Okay, it's basically a show every year, the Manion Show. The whole deal is to pretty much have the best bodybuilders in the world come guest pose at this show. When you guest pose isn't like a huge of a thing as it used to be years ago. Just because when I was competing, they would hire me to guest pose at shows all the time. That means they would take someone at a higher level, whether it be in top national or pro, and you would pose at local shows like during the show, and so you would usually want to come in kind of like really big off season, but kind of tight too, and not be sloppy. There's so many bodybuilders that went in there really sloppy. So everybody looked, pretty good. I'll go through the names and what I think, and kind of give a prediction of what how I think their physiques are going to progress along the years. So was it last year? Yeah, last year the big controversy was last year, the year before. Big Ramy was supposed to show up, okay, and he said he was showing up, and then he just didn't show up, which is like a huge, fu to the Manions, which are the owners of the whole, IFBB NPC. So, and then he placed bad. A lot of people were like, that's not something you do. He should at least called and said, hey, I'm really sick. Well, I'm not making it. Who knows why? It was really strange. It's not the easiest. I get it, to travel outside of Egypt a lot. Maybe he had something going on. That's when he had his two wives, and he was leaving one. I don't know. But whatever the cause may be, you don't know. It's an honor to be asked to guest pose at the show because you're considered the best in the world. Let's go over the people that guest posed there and how they looked. And we'll start with Big Ramy. Okay. So Big Ramy, I love Big Ramy. He's got to be probably one of the nicest, most humble bodybuilders out there, okay? His physique over the years has gotten, I'll just say this, it's got in the hands of a lot of people that I'll say that's been done wrong experiments on his body. When he was first came out, he was insane looking. Everybody's like, this is going to be the next Mr. Olympia. He just needs to get in condition. Show after show after show, he wasn't in condition. Then he started kind of morphing into a bigger type physique, but there was some flaws going on. The waist was getting bigger. The quads were looking a little funky. The shoulders were looking funky. A bunch of other stuff. But he won the last couple Olympias, right? But this year they kicked him, not even, fifth place, which was like, wow. But you got some new people on the block that are aesthetically looked really good. And when you look at Big Ramy, it's just a freak factor. But his physique's put together just odd, and as the years have gone by, it's gotten worse. Like, he's got a lot of, it looks like nerve injuries, even though we had his stem cell doctor, we had him come on. I invited him on RX Muscle, and me and Dave Palumbo interviewed him, and it said it wasn't like any herniated disc. Something's going on. His arms are atrophying big time. This was after Ramadan, so you got to remember he was like flat looking, if because he was fasting and all that. But Big Ramy, we love him. Is he going to come back and win the Olympia? Probably not, but he's I think going to try it another year. Okay, let's go to Derek. Derek, that's the best bodybuilder. Him and Hottie are the most impressive in my eyes right now, hands down. Derek's, the only thing I can say negative about Derek is his stance when he stands forward, like with his legs. He's got to fix that placement. And I know Hani's his coach, and Hani knows how to pose people. And I'm not sure why Derek keeps posing that way. It's really odd. It's like, it looks like a frog when he poses, like he has his legs out. But besides that, he's a really nice guy. He's a Christian. I'm glad that he speaks about his faith. Awesome guy. Like I said, really nice, amazing physique. He's got a really bright future. And, Hottie won this past Olympias between Hottie and Derek. It's going to be probably them two again, I think, with maybe Samson in the mix too. Okay, let's go to the next one. Hunter. Okay, Hunter. He's got a lot of controversy just because he's kind of Lee Labrada's son. He's kind of been have been fed the silver spoon and kind of been handed a lot of stuff, right? Because you're Lee Labrada's son. But also he has a lot to live up to, which can be a huge deal also. I don't know him personally. He lives in Houston. But there seems to be a lot of drama surrounding him and competing and some other stuff too. I know he was doing a lot of protein shakes on his diet, and he's never gone into a show and hit his peak, okay? So he needs to do that, and, I'm not a huge fan of his physique, but he is big and freaky, and we'll see how. Last Olympia, he was just holding fat. There was nothing else to it, and I think he needs to get a coach. He had his friend do it, some guy named Chow, which is not like a proper coach for him. He needs to get a proper coach so they can really nail down and, come how he needs to be. Okay, Nick. Okay, Nick, the mutant walker. Just massive. What else can I say? Freaky, massive, huge, 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 huge. Just a beast up there, okay? Samson, great shape. He was probably the more softest out of the whole crew, but he's trying to grow now because he's taller and he needs to fill out his frame. And of course, we know he's pushing the insulin because his coach loves insulin, Milos. So he was probably, I would say maybe him and Rami were maybe the least impressive, just because Rami got off. Rami probably hasn't been even working out at all because with Ramadan, you don't have any energy either. You're not eating. So Samson, impressive shape, but his conditioning wasn't that great. But this is a guest posing, guys. You're not going there to win a show. You're going there for the audience and for entertainment. So he's got to work on put it on size. So this time he just can't go mini diet into guest posing just so he can be tight. He's working on the big picture, the Mr. Olympia, but amazing physique, okay? Let's go into Sean Clarida. Tiny Sean. I believe he's moving to Dallas, or he's just moved to Dallas where I live. Everybody's moving here. Guys, stop moving here. Too many people's moving to Dallas. I'm born and raised here, and wow, I was born in Arlington, or raised in Arlington. I've been living in Dallas for the past, 20 years. He's just if you've never seen Sean Clarida, I've seen him at the gym in person. He's like 5'1", just a little, like it looks like a bunch of meatballs just stacked together. Crazy physique. By himself on stage, you would never know he's that. It's hard to say tiny because he's so muscular and big, but he's that short statured. But he looks amazing. Is he ever going to win Mr. Open Olympia? No. But has he beat people in a pro show that were, triple his size, literally? So this guest posing, I enjoyed it. It was pretty entertaining. I like to see always that, and the Manions always have those guys out. The two most impressive were, I had to write the names down again, but Derek was the most impressive, and then I would say Sean was pretty impressive. Just going off this, going into the Olympia, who do I think is going to be the front runners? Okay, I think Hottie is going to be hard to beat. Even though Derek is amazing, he doesn't have that muscle, thick, crazy maturity as Hottie yet. But he's coming close. Derek looks freaking insane. He's so full. He's so big. But when he diets down, he flattens out a little bit. We'll see with another year, like how he looks at this Olympia. But I still got Hottie probably beating him. Derek at second. Samson. They didn't have Andrew Jack here. I'm not sure why. I think someone told me, but I already forgot. But I think those are going to be the front runners, guys. Big Rami's going to be out. His body's it's time for him to retire when he's ready to retire. He's not going to get any better at this point. Nick Walker, I probably see him out of the top 3 or 4 just because the better aesthetic guys are coming in and they're going to be rewarding that. And that's how I see it. So the top guys, I see Hottie, Derek, and maybe Samson or Andrew Jack, guys. All right, guys, appreciate it. Comment below. Let me know some topics you want to hear. Peace out.